In a world of seemingly endless podcasts comes what many would call another one. Welcome to the Two Men podcast with your hosts Tim Matson and Phil Powell. Now please join these two confirmed men, that's two moderately entertaining nerds, as they take you on another podcast adventure that's guaranteed to be funny. Or not. This week the two men talk about how they deal with stress.
All right. It's the Two Men podcast.
Woo! Welcome, everybody. It's good to be back with Phil for the first time here after taking a week off.
You know, Tim and I, we have not had makeup sex yet after he cheated on me. But I'm preparing myself mentally for that space. It's just going to happen. I don't know. I'm just going to force my way through it.
I don't think I'm really not in the mood.
You're never in the mood.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
Well, you're never in the mood to have sex with me.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah. In fairness to them, and I'm good with that.
Okay, I'm very comfortable with that. Yeah.
But I feel as though after you cheated on me, we have to have makeup sex.
I'm not so sure that's true. Is that in the rules of the podcast?
Well,
I want to read our bylaws.
Yeah, I think we may have neglected to write bylaws.
I don't think we haven't. This is we're flying pretty fast and loose with this.
That's right. Well, let's just say for now you're forgiven, although I may give you an icy glance or stare.
I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
All right.
I can withstand your icy glares.
That's right. I'm probably just confused.
That's what I think. Whenever you glare at me like that, I think he's forgotten what he was going to say.
Yeah,
that's very sad.
This podcast is living proof. This really should be called Phil's Gradual Dementia. That's what this podcast should be called. You see how in the early episodes,
his vocabulary was much larger in the early episodes. Now he's down to 2-syllable words at best.
That's right. Is he going to tell that joke again? Oh my gosh.
I expect any day now you just say, I think we should do an episode about Sesame Street.
That's right. All right, so this episode, it's a 10-minute episode. We've already eaten up 3. It's on...
Are you keeping track?
No, you are.
Well, then how do you know?
You always keep track.
I know that, but how do you know you've eaten up 3 minutes?
It's a guesstimate. That's right.
I think it's probably fair.
You're daddy. You always take care of the time.
I'm really not comfortable with you calling me daddy. That makes me deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
All right. Well, your experience and your journey through life is your own.
It really is. It is. Right. Okay. So when I arrived here, you seemed to be a little bit... head up over some things. Are you suffering from stress?
I am. So we're going to talk about stress.
This is the stress episode. So stop pounding the table. You're making noises.
I would normally yell at you for that.
I know. It's my turn.
All right.
So this is what happens when you take a week off. You forget all podcasting etiquette.
You're right. I do. I should never do that in the future.
You really shouldn't. I felt very lonely. Matt was good company, but I did miss him.
Right. Well, the strange and new is always, it's
a little exciting.
It's a temptation, yes.
And Matt, I will have to say, Matt actually came very prepared. He came with 2 pages of notes and stuff, and I was like, I'm just not used to this level of professionalism, so I was really thrown.
That's not Phil's game.
No, Phil is definitely not one to over-prepare.
No. Stress. Let's talk about what are the good sides of stress. Are there good sides?
Are there good sides?
Well, it raises your heart rate. I guess if you've got a low heart rate, I guess that's good.
I suppose it helps with your fight or flight instincts.
Doesn't it raise your cortisol, that stress hormone?
What?
There's a stress hormone. That's bad because that makes you fat, I think.
Wait, stress makes you fat?
I think so. I think that's
what's wrong with me.
See?
I'm very stressed out.
And
big boned.
And big boned. That's right. Big boned. Love it when the doctor calls you big boned.
It's true.
Well, you're pretty big boned.
Bones weigh a lot.
Oh, they do.
They do.
They're an excuse. It's not anyone's fault to be big boned.
No. I was just born that way. It's DNA.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Stress. So what do you do to handle stress?
Basically handle it poorly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like chocolate chip cookies are a good stress relief.
Right.
I think that's a poor choice, but it's a choice.
So what I hear is food for dopamine.
Yeah, dopamine. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Stuff cell full of food, dopamine. See, now,
hibernate in my theater in the dark, playing a video game.
I think I would do that if I could also hide from life. Because, see, to me, that's the part of it where I think that works, where if you eat a lot of food and then you're able to actually avoid human contact for an extended period of time.
That's my life.
Well, then I can see how that is a totally effective
It's
strategy.
really working for me. This is the first time I've been out in public in like 2 days.
Well, it works on several levels, because if you eat and then you're unhappy about the fact that you've eaten a lot and you don't see anybody for several days, that gives you enough time to kind of work off the shame.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of distance yourself from it. Not that I'm saying anyone should be shamed.
No,
shame.
we're not fat shaming here.
I mean, we should be ashamed as people.
No, that's an entirely different subject.
There we are.
There's
That is
sound
that
again.
sound that Tim makes.
There's something wrong with the plumbing. I don't know what it is.
When you come in proximity to me, you make that noise.
You give me gas. That's what it is.
So
Makes my
then,
stomach very upset.
yet more proof that we can never be lovers.
No.
We-
I would,
it just
I would
can't-
Dutch oven you to death.
Oh, that's
That's
a
way more than you asked
that's
for.
a slur to the Dutch and ovens.
And the baking industry. How's your stress level?
It's all right.
See, now laughter is a good stress reliever.
Yes.
It's a great stress reliever. So, I mean, I feel like doing this podcast is a good stress relief.
I think it is. Yes, it is for me. I enjoy doing it. Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
It is a stress reliever for me, and I think other people like it. I don't know if total strangers would like this podcast.
No, I'm not sure. Do we have any total strangers that listen to us?
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody in China, so
I'm going to assume they're at least
all of those are strangers. And
I feel so
and
sorry.
a stranger is a friend you haven't met yet.
Oh, is that from a cartoon or something? That sounds like something.
I'm sure it's cribbed from something.
Yeah, we would have heard that on a cartoon like Power Rangers.
I'm
or
not
something.
that wise.
Yeah. I would assume that those poor people in China that are listening to our podcast, if they're trying to learn English based upon our vocabulary, they're going to be looking up things in the dictionary which aren't there.
Yeah. Especially when we had Matt Luneman on, some of his
those words.
English. Yeah, some of the things he was saying, I don't know that those are in any dictionary.
Right. Now, as I understand it, petting animals reduces stress.
Yeah, that's true.
And I actually understand that being petted also reduces stress.
No, that's an entirely different thing.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying this. Human contact.
Yeah.
Give me your hand.
What? No.
Let's just try. This is like an experiment. All right.
I've reached across the table. Phil is gently cupping my hand.
Now, I hope you don't take this as
and
an
now
insult.
he's stroking it. Okay, yeah.
But you feel dead. I mean, there's some warmth there.
Yeah, I don't put off a lot of heat.
Well, it's just you felt a little, it felt like, I don't know if you've ever touched dead people, but.
I don't make it a habit to, no.
I've touched a few, and Tim is joking. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
He was taking a drink. I didn't think that was a laugh line.
I don't know why I've touched a few. I don't know. I was not expecting you to say that, I guess. You make it sound like a hobby.
No,
it's deeply disturbing.
It's an act of reverence and love. Usually, I have never.
I get that. Yeah,
I have never done it like I don't roam the hospital.
Good. Well, that's good.
Or nursing homes, trying to touch those who have recently passed. I don't do that.
Oh my gosh!
But I've touched a few dead people.
Why do you wait till I'm drinking to say that every time? I think you're trying to kill me.
Yeah. No, I would drag you outside into the neighbor's yard because I don't want to deal with the inquiry. We're moving. That would wind up in our house inspection report. I'm quite confident.
Yeah.
Like,
dead podcaster in
Dead
the kitchen.
podcaster.
But that might affect the market value of your place, I think.
If you were a celebrity and you died here, that might up the value of the home.
Maybe. Would I have to haunt it for very long?
I don't think that would be contractual. I think there would
okay.
be some haunting that would be, obligatory.
I mean, I feel like I would have to.
Boo or
Yeah.
something like that.
Maybe I can, moan in the night or something.
Right. It will not seem a whole lot different than thou.
It's normal.
Yeah. Tim not only moans, he wails at night.
There's some chain rattling.
That's right. It's like, why did I make this life decision?
There's so many life decisions I regret. This being one of them.
When the night isn't long enough to handle all of your wailing.
You have to do some daytime wailing.
That's right. To handle.
It's not the same in the daytime. It's like theater. It shouldn't be done when it's daylight.
Yeah, you can't do Christmas Carol during the day.
No, Jacob Marley is not frightening in the daytime.
No, Jacob Marley did not see I'll See You at Noon.
He
did not.
visited by the first ghost about 1:30 in the afternoon.
That's right, in full daylight with everybody around.
Yeah.
No, not as effective.
Nope, not effective at all.
Do you think ghosts feel stress?
As a ghost, you're supposed to be scary, so you got to work up your A game.
Mm-hmm. Performance anxiety.
I don't think people are as prone to be scared anymore as they used to be. I'm sure life as a ghost used to be pretty easy. I mean, you moan a little bit, you move a chair or whatever.
Where do ghosts go when they're not actively haunting?
I don't know. That's a great question. Do they have a green room for ghosts?
I was going to say, you've got to have some place for some me time. I
mean, you don't want to be working 24/7 as a ghost, do you?
No. Is it in the house? And if so, where? I mean, if ghosts come and go, where do they go to? Or do they cease to exist, which might frighten the ghost?
Well, that would be very frightening.
To the ghost?
Suddenly just not exist anymore?
If a ghost had an existential identity crisis,
that would be very stressful.
Maybe that's why they're screaming.
Yeah, they just suddenly popped back into existence. They're like, oh, God. What year is this?
So they're moaning in that context is totally understandable.
No, I would moan a lot in that context,
They're frightened. They don't know.
They're confused. They don't know where they are, what they're doing there. It's kind of like you in the middle of the night when you get up.
So I've decided that stress is something you have to live with in the life. However, in your life, we don't have it as stressful as we used to as a species.
No, I mean, we don't have to hunt and kill our own food. No.
Right. Or be killed.
Be killed as food.
I mean, people are always talking about the circle of life. As far as I can tell, humanity is awful fond of the circle of life as long as it doesn't involve that. But the instant anything dares try to bring it into that circle, it's like you get a gun out and you shoot that thing as quick as possible. Circle of life, not so much. So I guess that's an episode, or it's close to an episode.
I feel like I've had an episode.
That's right. So we've learned about me touching dead bodies reverently.
Reverently, yeah.
Not weird.
Not in a creepy way.
Not in a creepy way.
And not at random.
That's right. And that ghosts may have...
They may suffer from stress.
They may suffer from stress. We shouldn't be judgmental towards ghosts at all.
We should be a lot more, open and accepting of their plight.
That's right.
If you will.
And that the podcast is a good stress reliever, and it probably is for other people too.
I think it's telling that neither one of us mentioned that sex is a good stress reliever. I'm not sure what that says. But
well,
that's a great way to relieve stress, and that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're comfortable talking about a lot of things, and we talk about it indirectly, but I don't think we're comfortable talking about that directly.
What's sex directly?
Sex directly. Specifics.
That sounds like something you order online.
Sex directly?
Order some sex direct.
That's like next episode.
Well, that's been another episode of the 2 Men Podcast with me, Tim.
And me, Phil.
Bye.
Greetings. I am Alice, highly paid digital assistant to the 2 moderately entertaining nerds of the 2 Men Podcast. Want to let us know what you thought of the show? Have a topic you'd like to hear discussed? Feel like demanding your money back? We'd love to hear from you on 2 out of those 3 questions. Drop us an email at twomencast@gmail.com. In the meantime, please rate us and leave a review on iTunes or your podcast service of choice. Also, for all discussions moderately entertaining, you can find us at facebook.com/2mencast. Please join us again next week when we'll be guaranteed to be funny. Or not.